This is a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District Board of Education.
And we are now going to have a chance to get a Facilities Improvement Plan update. We're going to have a host of people come up and talk a little bit about the school, starting with Lou Alimo, with some help from the brains of the outfit, John Novelli. And then we'll have some other folks come up as well. Lou?
Good evening. I'm excited to kick off our capital campaign for the 2024 Council Rock Primary School Phase 2 project. Tonight we're going to introduce the project. I'm here with our OECM team, and I'm going to ask Principal Tappan to start off and introduce kind of the objectives of it. Have John Novelli, our Director of Buildings and Grounds, talk to some of the current structural differences between the buildings, or classrooms, excuse me. And we have our partners at SWBR, Joe Kasorik, is going to talk and outline the scope as the architect. And Nick Ippolito from Campus Construction is going to talk about the construction implications, and then I'll close up with the financial implications of the project. So with that, I'll introduce Principal Tappan.
Good evening, everyone. Principal Tappan here. So welcome to Council Rock. We're glad to have you. What people may not know, because we are shiny and beautiful and new as you walk into our building, our library, our hallways, they all look pristine. But in phase 1, we did a lot of work in the additions, a lot of work in new classrooms and kind of some of the shared spaces. The old classrooms really didn't receive much except, which is also huge, HVAC, air conditioning, heating, and some other safety things. So not much was done with the old. So really we're looking within this, and everyone else is going to give a lot more details about bringing some of those old classrooms to a new standard, as well as looking at some of our outside spaces to continue to develop those. So with that, I will turn it over, as it was said, to the brains and John Novelli.
Yes, thank you. Just with that here.
Good evening. So, as Matt was saying, you know, we were able to accomplish a lot during the first phase. The new addition came out beautiful. Everything is shiny and new, and not so with the existing classrooms. It's not that they are unusable or unsafe. They just need some updating. We have these rooms were built in 1957. We have asbestos flooring. We have asbestos wall tiles. The plumbing is original, the lighting is old. So, you know, we're looking just to really bring everything up to date. One of our, again, as I said, you know, it's not that the classrooms are not safe, but asbestos is a big concern for us if there happens to be something that goes wrong. If we were to have a pipe break underneath one of these cabinets, there's no easy fix for that. That is basically having to shut down the entire wing, having to remove the built-in cabinetry, having to have an abatement company come in, abate it, and that could shut down the wing for a week, and we just don't have the space to move the kids that we would need to. So what we're looking to do in improving these classrooms is abate all of the floor tile, wall tile, remove all of the built-in cubbies, center island, get rid of all the chalkboards. All of the asbestos will be gone. Everything will be drywall on the walls. We will have new LED lighting, which is going to be more energy efficient. We are going to have brand new plumbing. We're going to get to the point where we don't need to worry at night that something's going to go wrong in one of these rooms and we're going to end up having an issue.
I think a point you brought up to us before too, John, that I would add is these rooms from an electrical standpoint aren't prepared for having to charge up laptops and do a lot of the things that are required now. So the electric there is old. It desperately needs to be updated.
That's correct. Well, it was very limited from when they first got designed. Same thing with the Promethean boards. You know, in all of the new classrooms, the Promethean boards are actually mounted to the walls. It saves a lot of floor space, this and that. Because of the asbestos, we can't mount those to the wall. So right now they all sit on large floor stands, which take up a lot of room. So moving forward, we're hoping to be able to accomplish all of this by removing everything, putting everything in there that is going to be mobile. and more user-friendly. And, we'll make it a place that is the best learning experience for our kids. Any questions? Okay, turn it over to Joe.
Can I say ditto?
Yeah.
John stole all my thunder here. Next slide, please. Oh, I am next. All right. To break down what John gave us an overview of 4 areas, scope of work here, site work, roof reconstruction, looking at the 31 classrooms that were not primarily touched in phase 1, and the east, west, and south wing corridors, tile replacement, that would be tile, wainscot, flooring, and doors. Site work. We looked at this project in 2017, if you can believe it, and there's an opportunity to improve the site. We had conversations with Principal Tappan and discussed opportunities for expanding play areas outside. So outdoor synthetic turf on the lower west side. It might be challenging to see where the building is, but that floor plan is the addition from the 2017 phase 1 capital project. So creating a synthetic surface there that can be cleaned and that allows exterior play to happen into later months of the year. It also creates a safer area where the surface is significantly smoother. On the east side, so the southeast side of the building, you can see the expansion. So just north of the play area that was provided in the 2017 phase 1 project, this capital project will expand that area with a rubber surface and also be accessible play equipment. Minor roofing in this project. Most of the roofing was done in the 2017 phase 1 project. So the northwest section and the area over the art room, and you can see that's the art room right there. So it's a lighter shade. That lighter shade is a ballasted roof. It's stone. The stone holds down the rubber membrane. So that area and the area on the northwest wing will be replaced with similar surface, the rubber or EPDM membrane roofing that the rest of the building has. Looking at making consistent instructional space. So in 2017, the addition and other areas within the addition and adjacent were updated. Were provided with flexible learning. And so the opportunity to provide consistent and equitable classroom spaces for the remaining 31 classrooms in the northwest, northeast, and south. So they're considered the west, east, and south wings. And you can see they're boxed out with your red lines there. Little view of a rendering of what's proposed and what's existing in each of the west, east, and south wings. Looking at opportunities for furring out the walls or creating a space for technology to run without conduit. As Larry mentioned, increasing opportunity for electronic devices to be plugged in, upgrading the electrical in these areas, upgrading the toilet rooms as they exist in their existing footprint. There may be an opportunity to provide some accessible toilet rooms in the northeast wing or the east wing as we refer to it. So the flooring, walls, lighting will all be replaced. Phase 1 did the mechanical or HVAC, so the heating, cooling, and also the fire suppression or sprinkler system for safety. Our schedule and design, we've been in pre-referendum, and we're, as you know, we'll be going to a referendum vote December 4th. At that time, when the vote passes, we would conduct the first of 3 design phases, schematic design, then design development for 4 months, and then your construction document phase for the following 3 months, anticipating SED submission in September of next year, 2025. Any questions? No. Okay.
No,
Thank you.
Joe.
Thank you, Joe. So to continue with the schedule, assuming that we get out to SED for September of '25, that would give us an anticipated bid timeframe of April or May of 2026. So even though it is September of '24 right now, just goes to show you how far and how much work it takes to get to this point. So if we have that bid in April or May of 2026, that means that our construction could start summer of '26. And then just want to share with you that the scope of the work is going to be accomplished not only during the summers, but throughout the school year as well. We're going to work with Principal Tappan and the rest of the district to coordinate what that looks like. We are going to have to shift around some rooms and make some accommodations to make the work happen, but there's a lot of work to do, and those are some of the things that we will have to handle. So what will be the construction impact on the Council Rock community starting in 2026? Multiple classrooms will be relocated as we renovate each of the other classrooms. We're looking at roughly 4 classrooms at a time. I believe Principal Tappan and his staff have identified or will identify 4 swing space areas that will allow us to work on 4 classrooms throughout the year. We're going to continue to rotate through those, and to get through 31, that means it's almost 8 groupings of classrooms that we're going to have to handle. You're going to see contractor trailers, equipment, and parking that's going to utilize space in and around the parking lots and school grounds. We haven't fleshed that out entirely yet, but we just want to be realistic and paint the picture for you. You are going to see job trailers. You are going to see storage trailers. You are going to see fencing. You are going to see dumpsters. And that's going to be for the duration of the project. Lastly, the playground area will be closed when we are actually doing the construction of the addition. We are going to make sure that we keep that open as long as humanly possible and try to coordinate that work during the summer. We will be at the mercy of the contractor for availability, timeline, and what lead times look like, but I do want to be upfront with you that at some point that playground area will need to close in order for us to do the additional work that we are planning on. Can I answer any questions about any of that stuff for you? Yes, Eleanor.
What is the guesstimated, and I know it's a huge guess, of the time that the playground would be closed? And is it not, like, is it through the whole construction?
Having done the playgrounds at French Road recently, I can say that the amount of work that is involved there, it's probably, this is if everything goes great.
Right.
So
Everything will.
everything will, of course. It's probably anywhere from 2 to 4 months worth of work for us to prep the area. Honestly, the easy part is once they get the materials on site, building it and then putting in the pourable surface. But I don't know, I haven't seen all the scopes of work because Joe's team is still identifying that, what we need to do to prep that area to even do the additional playground. So I can't fully speak to that.
Thank you.
I would just add, Nick, and maybe Lou was going to say this, from a communication standpoint, I know your team's working with Dan Goldman in terms of how we'll be communicating to people what's happening and what's going on with things once we have that information, so like the neighborhood and everybody else knows
Absolutely.
what's going on.
So this is just the mere morsel to start with, but
Yep.
plenty more information to come.
Yep.
Great.
Lou, I think you're up, sir.
So a special thanks to the team. This is something that we've really been working on since the completion of the Phase 1 project. We've stayed engaged with SWBR, thinking about this project, planning it. They were very helpful in developing the building condition survey, and certainly we've been continuing the partnership with campus in managing all our construction since the 2017 project. So I appreciate your partnership and you being here tonight. So for the financial impact, the proposed cost of the project is $19,125,000. We are proposing to use $3 million of our capital reserve, existing capital reserve, to offset the local share. With that, we are expecting to maximize the building aid on this at 79.1%. And again, this has been a project that we've been contemplating for 5 years now. We needed to wait for the building aid units essentially the building aid to reset after the first project. We maximized it in order to build the new addition and to improve all the infrastructure within the building that we accomplished in phase one. We had to wait 5 years for it to reset, and this is our first opportunity to really finish the project so we can get Council Rock on the same long-term planning schedule as the other 3 buildings. The net local share then over a 15-year amortization period is just about $3.3 million. So if you break that down, and certainly we partnered with our financial consultant to do this analysis, it's about $218,000 that we'd have to levy in new taxes in the year, over the 15-year period, excuse me. So that represents about 0.36% of the current tax levy. And as we project that out and with expected borrowing, it would be about $18 per year. So this does have a tax impact, given the magnitude of the work that still needed to be done in this building is part of the presentation that we want to be transparent with the community. Some would say, why aren't we using more reserves to offset that? And the reality is there's a lot of work to do in the rest of the buildings. We have $38 million worth of work going on, but we still have infrastructure and work. So every year we're going to be doing some type of capital work. So we're recommending to the board that we be prudent with the existing capital reserves and spread those out more equitably so we can make sure that we can achieve everything we need to in each of the 4 buildings. The other piece of it, too, is we were very transparent and open and honest with the community in the 2017 project. In all of our literature, we asked for that car payment. As Dr. McGowan said in every presentation, we're trying to build in that car payment so we don't have to ask for any additional money in the future for capital. We could be strategic about our capital reserves and try to stay within our means within that levy. We honored that commitment to the community, and in fact, as we applied, as the Board of Education applied more cash to the large 2017 project and the favorable interest rates that we've been able to achieve, we actually we far exceeded that commitment. So the impact as of right now over the course of the 15 years for what ultimately turned out to be a $69 million project is $95. So the board can say with full integrity that we honored our commitment in 2017 and we didn't raise the taxes that we needed to, or that were authorized at the time referendum, excuse me. However, because of that and the amount of work that still needs to be done, the significant cost escalations that we've had over these last 5 years, we are asking for a little bit more of that initial car payment to be able to complete the work at Council Rock, and then again, use our reserve strategically over the next 10 years to mitigate any future tax impact through capital. And obviously, when we adopt the tax cap levy every single year, we're accountable for that number. That's a very discrete presentation of our tax cap number is the capital levy exclusion. So again, that's what we're trying to use over the next couple of months, try to tell that story, to educate, be very transparent and open and honest with the impact of this project, where that money is being spent, and what we expect the results to be. So with that, I will entertain any questions. And again, my gratitude to the team for being here tonight and for all the hard work that was put into just even developing this proposal for the board's consideration and ultimately the community's consideration.
This has been a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District Board of Education.